Come on in, bestie. Welcome to Storypod, where we do the doing of story development together. Brought to you by Creative BFF. Hello, listen, a little impromptu. Okay, let me make sure everything's recording. I've got a little impromptu video here. It's Saturday. Okay, it's a cozy Saturday. And I, all this week, have been preparing for a very specific video that I want to make, which involves me writing some short fiction. And I have felt like I wanted to brush up on how to create short fiction because I had in my mind that I've never really written short fiction before, which is actually a lie. I actually have written, a short story that was like a combination of like a comic, well, not a comic, it was a combination of like a coloring book and a story. And then I did some micro fiction on my Instagram. And then just throughout the years, I realized that I've been writing little short story snippets, primarily, even though I feel like my main bread and butter is longer form stories. That's what I like to plan. So I decided to just tuck in here for a little bit and see if I can just kind of knock out a micro fiction or something like that. And the reason is because in my studies this week, in my refresher course this week on short fiction, one of the videos that I watched was detailing Ray Bradbury's process, or starting to. And one of the things that the gentleman mentioned was that Ray Bradbury would, for years and years and years, would write one story a week, one short story a week. And so on Monday or Sunday, he would write the story, then he would rewrite it every day. And then on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, he would submit that story and then start the whole process again. And he had done that from 12 years old to 20 something before he got his first story published. So that was a very interesting and kind of like convicting a little bit story, or not convicting story, but I should be writing more. And I wanted to perhaps give myself some sort of challenge where I, for some interval of time, write short stories and or microfiction multiple times. And just to see if I can do that. Can I trust myself in this creative area? Because I know I can trust myself to show up for what I say I want to do, a goal that I set for myself in fitness and in food and nutrition rather. But I don't feel as confident in my ability to show up for myself in this creative space, in any creative space for whatever reason. And so now I'm like, I want to build that trust with myself. So maybe I'll do that, but I also don't want to set a goal and then just disappear from it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to dabble right now and see how it feels to just try to quickly write something before dinner. You know what I'm saying? It's 6 p.m., 6:19 p.m. So I am going to transition my screen so you can see what I'm doing. And what I have decided to do for this first one is to draw an inspiration from an image that I found on Pinterest. And as you can see, I have already kind of started, because I actually started the video and then I realized that I wasn't, the view wasn't correct. So I was like, let me start all over again. So I already started, and the theme that I'm going for, or the essence, or, kind of the idea that I'm kind of wanting to write around is this idea of, not parental sacrifice, but a parent having to release their child to the child's destiny, even though it doesn't align with what the parent hoped for this child that they love. So that's kind of what I want to mess around with. I will see. This may be done over more than one video, depending on how far I get today and how active my brain is feeling today. And yeah, so what I will probably do is not make you sit and watch me do this for an actual hour. I am going to speed up the video and put some kind of music. And then when I finish whatever this little micro story is, then I'll come back and I will read it to you. So listen, I'll see you on the flip side. Okay, let's speed up this tape, editing Ashley. Hello. Sorry for that potentially jarring transition. That first session that you just saw, I literally got one sentence in and then I was like, okay, nothing else is coming. But later on that night / morning, as I was awakening, I started having ideas. So I took a few notes. However, that has been a week and a day ago, and I have not come back to work on this since. I actually added one sentence just now in a previous version of this recording that got messed up, unfortunately. But listen, we're gonna continue. We never abandoned it. We were always planning on coming back, and today is that day. So I'm going to go ahead and transition us into the work mode desktop, and I will see you on the flip side. Listen, all right, it has literally been almost exactly a month since I started writing this story. Today, I was just like, we're going to get it done. Now, I can't say, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I actually spent that full month every day working on this story. That is not the case. Okay, I touched it. Okay, I did those 2 sessions that you saw. And then I realized that it's like trying to write while I'm recording and feeling like I have eyes on me was adding pressure. So I was like, well, let me just try writing without that. And I think I did a session or 2 of me just trying to come in and write without having to record it. And then I did that again today. So you're not going to see a time lapse of me sitting here trying to write. I'm just going to read to you the final result of this experiment in flash fiction. It ended up being 521 words, as my little app is telling me. And so what I'm gonna do now, let me adjust this, make sure my mic is over here. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna switch you over to the visual and I will read it to you the best I can. I'm trying to get better at reading, doing like voice over type stuff just for myself, just for my own projects. So anyway, enough stalling. Without further ado, here is The Journey, final draft. The journey had come to an end. 2 sets of footsteps disappeared into the silence of the endless cavern as they approached their destination. Rocky outcroppings gave way to a flawlessly smooth stone wall, neither formed by nature nor cut by human hands, higher than they could see with their naked eyes. The gate. Her tiny hand gripped his. She pressed into his side, the instinct of a child seeking comfort and protection. He closed his eyes, branding his memory with the sensation. Oh God, let him remember. The priests and prophets said that it had to be her, therefore it must be so. In all his life he had never questioned, never doubted. It was an honor, they said, a reward for his faithfulness. For them it was a simple command. It was the way of their people. His little daughter, his only child, had been chosen to secure their survival in the barren mountains for another decade of winters. Would that they had asked him to cut the heart out of his chest. When the prophet's representative had come to explain it to her, they told her it would make her like a princess, beautiful and shining and beloved. They didn't share details because no one knew what happened to those that crossed the threshold. And bless her, she wanted to do it. But what could a child so young understand about a sacrifice such as this? Stone scraped against stone. A gash of light split the gate, and energy crashed through his body like a wave, urging him to take her and run. They could travel, build a life somewhere far away. God willing, he would watch her grow, make a life and a family of her own. The settlement and its people would eventually be nothing more than a legend he would tell his grandchildren. The atmosphere of the cavern was suddenly suffocating, wrapping around him like a heavy blanket. His skin prickled where it was exposed. He picked up his daughter, braced himself to flee. She wrapped her arms around his neck and gasped. A creature emerged, stories tall, shrouded in hazy, indistinct light. It looked humanoid, even feminine, but every instinct told him it was something other. Slowly it turned unseeing eyes on his daughter. She buried her face in his neck as her hold tightened. He began to back away from the gate. Bye-bye, Papa. The shock of those words rooted him to the spot. She pushed back and looked in his eyes, smiling. I love you. She climbed down and scampered toward the gate, the tapping of her steps matching the beating of his heart. He watched as she disappeared into the light. The gate closed and his eyes gradually adjusted to the natural ambient darkness of the cavern. He took a single gasping breath, his body forcing him to fill his neglected lungs. He turned and began the journey home. All right, that's it. 521 words. I flubbed a couple of times in there, which you may or may not have seen because I hopefully caught it and cut it out. But anyway, listen, that was the result of this experiment. It was a challenge. I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, excuse me. Girl, like sitting there with this picture, it was initially very inspiring, but actually sitting down to try to write something more than like 4 little short slides on Instagram based on this picture was more challenging than I thought it would be, and kind of trying to flesh out while still keeping a story very short. But I'm generally happy with the result. I didn't do a whole lot of editing. It was almost like a straight through kind of writing. I only, the final draft was only me just kind of cutting a couple of options that I had put in there for myself. But overall, listen, is it the best thing ever? No, but I'm not mad at it. I think it was a good practice. I think I will continue to do this periodically. Hopefully in my life, I'll be able to make this more of a regular thing that I do to try to practice writing. But anyway, That's it. I've done enough talking. I'm going to leave you here. Listen, go write something short, try it out, or just go touch one of your projects that you've been working on, after you listen to this, go and touch a little project, try to get back into it, tippy tap out a couple of words, I'm telling you this as though it didn't take me a month to write 521 words. Anyway, listen, love you. Have a great day. I shall see you next time. Same bat time, same bat place. Sorry, I had to look to the side to try to make sure I was on the right button to stop.